My name is Sentongo Andersen. I was born in Uganda in 1976 during the height of Idi Amin's regime. Unfortunately for us, we did have to flee our country, and when I was 6 months old, my father, who was working for the UNESCO at the time, was able to get us out. We lived in Liberia first, and then the Gambia, and then ended up in Swaziland, now known as Eswatini, where I had my formative years. I was lucky enough to attend the United World College of Southern Africa, Waterford Kamsaba, where our daily struggle was trying to end the apartheid in South Africa. This is something that the school was actually built to do, and it was something that gave me my first insight into the real struggles that Black people go through, even on the continent. In 1996, I came to Canada for university, and I quickly learned that there was a very, very big difference between the way I grew up and the way I was going to grow up. Canada being a country that has Black people in it, but as a minority, it was a very different experience where I'd had the experience of growing up as a majority. I didn't really understand the Black experience in Canada, and it took a long time for me to actually understand not only the Black experience, but also the fact that it was so multi-layered. Black people in Canada are not a monolith. They are multi-generational Black people who came here over 400 years ago. And there are people who have come recently, like myself, who was an immigrant. There are people who have also come from the Caribbean, from the continent of Africa, South America, and all the other countries in between. Now, when I first started working on this project, it was with the lens that each part of Canada is very different. Canada is the second largest country in the world, and from one end to the other, you're going to have extremely different experiences. It became very clear to us that because of this, we would have to have Black Canadians in all areas of Canada who would be able to tell the story of Black Canadians in Canada and their rich history and culture through arts and culture. We started off in the East Coast, where the history of Black Canadians is the deepest, the longest, and the strongest in terms of when Black people came to Canada. And we went all the way to the West Coast. One region that is not focused on is the Arctic, Canada's Arctic. And that is because Canada's North is a very unique place. And although there are Black people in Canada's North, we do not have the same struggles and strifes and the same interactions with other Canadians as we do in the South. And our Indigenous people up north have a very rich and vibrant arts and culture community, and it didn't really seem that the Black experience was something that should be told from an Arctic experience. We were able to have curators from all areas of Canada work very together. Some of them worked alone, and some of them had partners. And they were able to produce videos that not only told the rich history of Canada, but also gave us an insight into some of the misconceptions, the misunderstandings that people have when it comes to the African diaspora in Canada. I'm very proud of what we were able to accomplish. I'm very happy that the person who kept me on the continent, that would be my father, was also the person who brought this project to me. So I really hope that what people will learn from this is that Black people in Canada have a very unique history. I think it would be very beneficial for not only Black Canadians to learn this history, but also for Canadians in general. It would be a very, very, very upholding and uplifting experience. And I hope that it does a lot to shed some light on some of the struggles, but also on the rich history and the rich culture that Black people in Canada have. I hope people enjoy it. I hope people are educated by it. But most of all, I know people will find it as beautiful as I did.